5 reasons why you should watch Citizen Kane. Much can be said about Citizen Kane and why it is considered one of the best films ever made. There's a reason why this movie is a required viewing among aspiring filmmakers and students of the visual arts. Although taste may vary from person to person, the general consensus puts the 1941 movie at a pedestal for its brilliant technical innovation, superb cinematic performances, timeless story, and the ingenuity of its art direction. In this video, we'll give you more reasons why you should definitely include Citizen Kane in your must-watch movie bucket list. Number 5. Unique narrative structure of its time. Orson Welles, the man behind this stunning cinematic masterpiece, was the first to employ a non-linear narrative structure in cinema. This means that the events in the film do not occur in a chronological order, much like Quentin Tarantino's Pulp Fiction, to mention a great example. Citizen Kane starts at the end, cuts to the middle, showed the titular character's childhood, and ended with Kane's rise and fall to fame. At this point in time, most films are told in a traditional linear way. Citizen Kane, then, was a game changer. Number 4. Technical innovations. Citizen Kane was way ahead of its time when it came out. Welles, who also played the part of the main character, Charles Foster Kane, used almost every visual trick that was known then in the art of filmmaking. Like the great physicist Isaac Newton, who invented the calculus because he needed a way to solve a problem, Welles also came up with a plethora of new cinematic techniques for this film. One example is deep focus. With the help of Greg Toland, the film's cinematographer, Citizen Kane pioneered the use of deep focus. This works in such a way that everything in a scene is put into focus at once, not just what's in the foreground or in the background. Through this method, viewers would be able to observe a complete world. It's also worth mentioning that Citizen Kane was among the first few movies to employ low-angle shots, tracking shots, as well as high-contrast cinematography. Number 3. Deep layered themes and motifs. Compared to other films made during that time, Citizen Kane used deeply layered themes and motifs. One of the best examples is Rosebud, which Kane uttered at the beginning of the film. Rosebud is the name of the sled which he had as a kid before he got separated from his family. It implies the happiest moments of the character's life. Throughout the movie, viewers would be able to realize that Kane wants to recreate that feeling of pure bliss he experienced during his childhood. But despite all the success, money, and fame that he attained throughout his life, the wealthy newspaper tycoon still couldn't bring back those golden moments. The plot also reflected the archetype of a strongly driven and controlling person who only wants one thing: for the people to love him. The film's exploration of the realities of the human condition and the loss of youth made Citizen Kane a timeless piece. The themes it portrays remain true and relevant even in today's society. Number 2. The creative use of light. As simple as it is, Citizen Kane's creative use of light is incomparable, even with today's standard of filmmaking. Welles, who first honed his directional skills in theater, employed lighting and shadowing techniques to effectively set the mood and show the viewers the different points in Kane's life. For example, during his childhood scenes in Colorado, the lighting was enhanced, giving the viewers the impression that these were the carefree days of the character. In the scenes showing the new headquarters in New York where Kane works, Welles used dark shadows and dim lighting to show the hustle and bustle of the city, as well as the exhausting daily grind in the news agency. The use of light and shadow in Citizen Kane paved the way for filmmakers to see the potential of lighting in conveying a story. And number 1. Orson Welles himself. If all the aforementioned reasons wouldn't be enough to convince you to check out this film, then this reason alone could perhaps pique your interest. Welles is regarded as a maverick filmmaker who managed to come up with a masterpiece that blew Hollywood out of the water. And he made it when he was just 25 years old. At this age, with no prior experience in film, he was able to direct, co-write, star in, and produce Citizen Kane, his very first feature film. The studio company RKO Pictures struck gold with Welles, who was then an actor performing exclusively on theater and on the radio. He was lured into Hollywood with the promise that he could make any film he wanted, a condition which was really unusual at that time. This budding artist couldn't possibly refuse the offer. And so, from his successful career in the Mercury Theatre Company to his surprising breakthrough in the silver screen, Welles proved that he is an artist of his own league. Simply put, Citizen Kane is a testament to Welles's artistic genius. For the first time in Hollywood, someone demonstrated new ways in doing films. Back then, most movies were shot almost completely the same. Same height, same distance from the actors, minimal camera movements, flooded lights. In other words, movies at that time were pretty much boring to look at. Then came Welles, who exhausted every possible method available at that time and went on to create new ones to satisfy his creative requirements. Even more so, Welles was nominated for an Academy Award in Best Actor, which certainly reminds you that he is as effective in front of the camera as he is behind it. As perfectly said by BBC, Welles was both a beginner and an expert, an undergraduate and a professor, when he made Citizen Kane. Citizen Kane is definitely not perfect, but Welles's magnum opus did stand the test of time. Through the years, people still learned a lot of valuable lessons out of the film, whether we're talking narratively, technically, or historically. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this.